Alrighty, next up we have Adam, who will be giving a bit of a speech and then exciting stuff to follow. Thanks, Adam.
Okay, thanks Rami, and I think just to touch on that point that Rami said, it's the chiropractors, it's the CAs, and also the support staff on top of that, whether it's the call centre, and whether it be the guys that are setting up clinics. It's gotten to that stage now where it is that massive, big team atmosphere. Just before I get into things, I didn't realise how many people there were when I was sitting down. So this is awesome to see. So guys, thank you all for making effort today. It's very much truly appreciated. And I know some people have come in from Pakenham, people have road tripped in from Melton, from Mernda, and we even got one person here today that's travelled all the way from Ocean Grove. So no doubt they would have got up super early. So thank you. So Robbie's definitely pointed towards the future and where we want to get towards and what we want to be able to achieve, and I guess where we want to take this team as a whole, which is inspiring. And just before I guess we launch into that and what we're going to be doing, I want to actually recap on the last 12 months. And whenever I look back on the last 12 months, I always try to look at things through our values as a company. And we all know our team values are team, education, growth, and excellence. And just like Rami mentioned before, team is the chiropractor and the CA. We've got that team. Then we've got the team between the chiropractor and the patients. The team between the CA and the patients, and then we've got that clinic team which all work together. Then we've got the back office team which is supporting them, the call centre. We've also got the people that put all the processes into place. Then we've also got the people setting up clinics. So when we're talking about team, we're talking about multiple areas of this, and none of us could do our own individual jobs or own individual tasks without the support of each other. And so having these teams is super important, working together, because not one of us would have been able to do what we've been able to achieve over the last 12 months by ourselves. Okay? Education, I think Robbie announced this at the Christmas party. This was going to be our biggest focus for these 12 months. And I think having you all here today is a really big step in that direction. For the chiropractors, we've been lucky enough to hold, I think, 5 seminars this year already. For those of you who don't know, some of those mornings where it's a little bit annoying and you look in the book and you're like, oh, the chiropractors are all off, I can't find a shift, I can't find a spot for a patient. So we've had an SOT seminar. We've had Troy Miles, who's an expert in that field. We've had Atlas Orthogonal. We've also had TMJ with Russell Mottram. And this is all really putting that focus on education. And I think I promised everyone that I wanted to get TMJ and SOT done, and we've already done that. And I was talking to the chiropractors over this last month, and the next one that we really wanted to get was pediatrics. And we've actually just booked a date for in November, which I'm really excited to announce today. Growth is, I think, we can always take growth in 2 parts. And growth is from a individual, and that can be everyone in their own roles here. It's seeing growth through patients and seeing how they can view their health in different ways, not just focusing on pain-based or big picture chiropractic. And you'll probably hear that term a few times today. But the growth that we've had over the last 12 months, and you've probably been looking at the slide and seeing what do those numbers actually mean. So we've actually grown by an additional 64 team members in the last 12 months, which is huge. We've been able to see over 23,000 new patients as a whole team, and not one of us would have been able to achieve that as a chiropractor or without the support of CAs and support staff. We've been able to serve our community with over 200,000 adjustments, which is, guys, that's ridiculous. It's amazing and it's awesome. And to be able to deliver that much care we're actually making a massive dent in the community, compared to a single clinic. But being able to do this on this type of scale, it's massive. It's huge. This is the type of thing that shakes up healthcare. And like Robbie was saying, 2 clinics in Sydney coming up. We've been doing it in Melbourne. We want to change the face of health. That's what we're here for. First, we've had amazing training, and we've now also going to be the first chiropractic group, or we have been, to implement a dedicated training period to chiropractors. Now, for some of you, you might be thinking, well, they learn everything at uni, exactly like Robbie was saying, but actually being trained how to see a patient, how to communicate, how to use all the paperwork, how to do notes on clinic, all that type of stuff. We're the first chiropractic group in all of Australia to have a dedicated training period, and I'm really excited about that. In terms of excellence, we've stepped it up with all this education. We've also got the pod meetings, and I'm also excited to announce, like Robbie was saying, there's going to be some changes from the 1st of November. We're now going to be doing pod meetings with the chiropractors, as well as moving to pod meetings with the CAs and the support staff as well. And that's been a huge improvement with what we've seen as a group. Now, just coming back to one of our values, which is team, and that's the most important one. We're going to, in a second, just break off, and I want you to go meet 2 people. One person that you haven't spoke to in 6 months, who you've been looking forward to seeing, and number 2, someone that you've actually never met before. And I'm going to do the same. So guys, all stand up, and we've got 2 minutes. Go see somebody. There's music. Okay, good. So I think having this size of a crowd, it's awesome, because I couldn't hear that music at all playing, so that's great. Rami just tried to kick me off stage, but no, I still have got more to go still. So thanks for putting up with me. So yeah, I think this is probably actually the first event that I can remember that I don't know some faces. And I normally really pride myself on knowing pretty much everyone that works here. So during the break or during lunch, if I haven't met you before, please come up and say hi. But it's so great to see so many faces and so many people making a difference. And so having that, like I said, team atmosphere, that's the number one thing that we're able to accomplish as a group all together. Robbie said this a few times in his talk, and I'm not sure if you all picked it up, but if you listen to anything that I say today, I want you to listen to our purpose, because this really is going to help to dictate any choice that you make, anything that you do going forward. We want it to be tied to this purpose which we have. And so a purpose is basically your why. And as Robbie was saying, our why as a group is to enhance lives through chiropractic. And when we're enhancing people's lives, we're talking about enhancing the patient in front of us. We're talking about enhancing their life outside of the clinic. And we're not just talking about pain, we're talking about fatigue. We might be talking about their sleep. We might be talking about anything that helps to control their nervous system. And so enhancing somebody's life, yes, it's that individual, but it might be a parent who goes home and then is able to care more for their children. It might be somebody that's able to then look after somebody more at work, or if they're playing sport or something like that. It's about enhancing their life and enhancing lives around them. And then we also look at the individuals who are delivering that care or assisting with that. So as chiropractors, and Robbie said this really well, is that looking after people, enhancing their lives, enhances your own life, and it's big picture chiropractic. Okay? I've been in that setting where I only focus on pain, and it's good, and it can be better. Okay? And we want to be able to enhance our lives by changing other people's lives. And the way that we actually fulfill that is through our mission. So purpose is why we're doing it. Mission is how we're going to live out that. And you're going to consistently hear this today around education. Yes, it's for us as individuals, but it's also going to be for our patients. So our mission is to educate and adjust as many people towards their full potential. And full potential, like we said, isn't just pain-based. It could be increased range of motion. It could be that their nervous system is working better. It could be that they're not as fatigued. It can be that they're sleeping better. It could be that it could be a young child that's not wetting the bed anymore. So if we're getting people towards their full potential, they're going to be able to enhance their life. And that's the focus which we really want to have as a team. So any time that you're looking after somebody, you're taking a phone call, you're a CA, you're talking to somebody at the front desk, or if you're setting up a clinic, we're doing this to educate people. Hand out pieces of work, have the anatomy posters. We really want to educate people towards their full potential. And if we can do this as a collective group, we're going to be able to change the world a lot more than we already have started to. And so that's where we want to take this all together and move into that direction. So, guys, what was our purpose? Does anyone remember? Good, okay, that works. Awesome. All right, now, next one that I want you to do, we're going to break up again. This time it's going to be 2 minutes again. What I want you to do in your row of 5 that you're sitting in, I want you to get together and I want you to talk to each other about 2 stories where we've been able to enhance somebody's life over the last 6 months. So chiropractors and CAs and support staff, you might need to share a story. For somebody like Gina, I'm sure she's got plenty of stories that she'll share with you. So guys, break off again. We're going to share 2 stories that enhance your lives. Do you have a story? All right. So guys, we've got some of our experienced chiropractors down the front here, and so Dr. Caitlin has got a really good story she wants to share with everyone. So Caitlin, go for it.
Stand up.
Of course.
A couple of weeks ago, I saw a patient that was wheelchair bound. She has a condition that affects most of her spine, so paralysed from L2 down. She is a professional tennis player, which I thought was pretty cool. So looking at her form when she first filled in freaked me out. Never seen anyone like it before. But seeing her develop, I only treat her weekly. She struggles for 2 days post-adjustment, so I can't treat her too frequently. But seeing how much she's developed and how much she can do because of such a simple adjustment is massive. I think it's opened my eyes a lot into what we can do as chiropractors. Even just something so minor for her makes such a big difference as well. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think on Caitlin's point as well, I remember when I first started working and adjusting people, and I thought if I couldn't get them back to normal, I'd failed, or I'd be like, okay, they've got to see somebody else. So people coming in with, stage 2 or stage 3 subluxation degeneration, and I'm like, well, I don't think I can get them back to normal after 1 or 2 visits. I'll be like, what the heck do I do? And as Caitlin was saying, seeing people coming in, in a wheelchair, or somebody that might have some type of congenital anomaly which we can't fix as such, does not mean that we can't enhance their lives or get them towards their full potential. And so you're going to hear me just say this over and over, you're going to get sick of it, but whenever you see somebody, think, how can we enhance their life? How can we make it better? How can we get them to their full potential? And their full potential might not be, somebody like Dr. Bob here, who's almost a professional bodybuilder, Now, not everyone can get to that stage, but we'll show some photos of you later, Bob. But for somebody getting to their full potential might be being able to play with their kids. It might be getting through a whole day with not having to have a nap because they're not fatigued. Or it might be somebody that can sleep a lot better. So getting someone to their full potential, living their life to the most, is what we want to be able to do. And so, Adam, this is great. You've told us we've got a purpose, we've got a mission, and we're communicating it. What the heck do we do now? Okay, how can we actually influence it? So the first thing is, whenever you're seeing somebody or you're on the phone to somebody, start to think about this. How can I enhance their lives? The next part is rolling this into our fourth value, which is excellence. And so, as much as excellence has always been a value, I think we really want to make it a focus over this next 12 months to really lift our game with excellence, to be able to enhance the lives of as many people as possible, and to educate people a lot more and get them towards their full potential and adjust them. And so some changes that we're looking to, or that we are rolling out over the next few months. Some of these will take place from the 1st of October. Other ones will happen from the 1st of November and some in the future. First one is we're changing the new patient and ROF times to 30 minutes. And so that's going to allow for better history taking. It's going to allow for more outcome measures, and it's also going to allow to get a more in detail approach to how we're actually going to be helping people. Okay? And like we said, if we can educate people better during this initial period, it's going to make our job a lot easier in the back end. The third visit appointment, we're actually going to make it a standard 10-minute block by itself. And what that's going to enable us to do, so not doing 2 across or 3 across, we're going to make it a block by itself. And that's essentially to make sure that we're on the same page as the patient going forward. Whether that be, if they're just going to pay as they go, bringing up the option to prepay or do some type of go cardless payment, but we want to be on the same page as the patient and clear up everything before we move forward. And my dream for all you CAs and for all you chiropractors, when people come in from their 4th visit to their reassessment, it's just educating and adjusting, educating and adjusting. So not having to worry about, how can I persuade this person to come back for the next visit? I have to book a time or I have to find it. That should all be organised in the first few appointments. Okay? And that way, your focus during that period is educating and adjusting people. And that's how we're going to get the most people towards their full potential. Sorry. New patient forms and reassessment forms we're looking to update. And with those, they're going to take a more vitalistic, holistic approach. Or like Robbie was saying, big picture chiropractic. So not just focusing on what's your pain out of 10. Focusing on how would you rate your health out of 10. Okay? How is this issue potentially affecting your life? What's your fatigue levels? Okay? And then the education, yes, it's going to continue with the chiropractors and also with the CAs, like we were saying about the pod meetings. But we also want to lift our game as a whole group in educating our patients about big picture chiropractic. Okay? And this is going to be focusing on not just the pain, not just the spinal level, but the nervous system, how that can affect the body, and different areas as well. Outcome measures is a big focus which we want to lift the game with, and so that's going to look along the lines of using something which is called a goniometer, which we're going to go through with the chiropractors today to assess range of motion. We're also looking at implementing blood pressure and also HRV measurements. For those of you who don't know, these types of things look at measuring the nervous system from the parasympathetic and sympathetic dominance view. So these are tools and outcome measures which we're looking to introduce. Number 1, to help educate the patient further. Number 2, to measure their improvements over time and see this big picture chiropractic, not just pain levels. The last thing which I'm sure you've all noticed is that we've brought on Dr. Ian. So you guys, Ian comes with a vast amount of knowledge and experience. He's been a chiropractic patient for 42 years and has been a chiropractor for 32 years himself. And so he is coming on in a consulting coaching role, and he's going to actually be talking later today, which I'm really excited about. And we're also doing the chiropractic coaching, which we've been using some of the chiropractic staff to go into the clinics and assist the CAs, but also the chiropractors as well. And we're continuing to develop our relationships with the universities which are graduating chiropractors. So Dr. Robbie and Dr. Nick just went across to the New Zealand College of Chiropractic for their big seminar. We've continually got a really good relationship with RMIT. And I think as early as this week, Robbie told me that he's actually sponsoring the new Australian College of Chiropractic in South Australia, which is really exciting. So all of this, as we're developing and introducing all of these things over the coming months and weeks, what we're really wanting your focus to be on is what our purpose is and how is all of this going to be enhancing people's lives through chiropractic, but also how are we going to continue to educate and adjust people towards their full potential. Thanks, guys. I'll get Rami to come up now, so thank you.
All right.